Good day everyone. In this topic, we are going to cover on the milling process. As you can see from the picture, milling process basically is to machine prismatic workpiece, rectangular shape or any in the form of prismatic shape as compared to turning process whereby the workpiece is in the cylindrical shape. As you can see also from the picture, now in milling process, the one that is rotating is the milling cutter. So the cutting tool is rotating and the workpiece is in static position. If you can recall back from turning process, the one that rotating is the workpiece and the cutting tool is actually in the static position. However, it is moving according to the feed direction. Okay, in milling process, the workpiece is moving according to the feed direction. Okay, these are the topics that we are going to cover in this chapter, which is we are going to cover on the introduction to milling process, the different types of milling operations, which are the peripheral milling and the face milling. Then we go to the milling parameters, all the important parameters that can give effect to the milling operations, and also different types of milling machines to conduct the two different operations of milling, which are the peripheral milling and the face milling. Okay, milling is a machining operation in which a work part is fed past a rotating cylindrical tool. So the tool, the cutting tool, is in the form of cylindrical shape, and the workpiece is moving in the feed direction, passing the rotating cylindrical tool with multiple cutting edges. So recall back in turning operation whereby it used a single point cutting tool. However, in milling process, there are multiple cutting edges for the milling cutter. The axis of rotation of the cutting tool is perpendicular to the direction of feed. So feeding is in the X direction and then the cutting tool is rotating perpendicular from that particular direction. The cutting tool in milling is called milling cutter. Okay, so the cutting tool, it is called milling cutter. And the cutting edges are called teeth. It does not have only one, there's multiple edges of teeth. Okay, so you can see from the pictures, there are two types of cutting tool. The one that is rotating in horizontal position and the other one is rotating at the vertical position. And the workpiece is on the work table moving at the feed direction. There are two basic types of milling operations, which are the peripheral milling and the face milling. So you can look at the pictures. A is the peripheral milling and B is the face milling. So in peripheral milling, you can see the cutting tool is actually rotating at the horizontal position. However, in B, in the face milling, the cutting tool is rotating in the vertical position. Okay, in peripheral milling, also called plane milling, the axis of the tool is parallel to the surface being machined and the operation is performed by cutting edges on the outside periphery of the cutter. Okay, so you can look in the picture. It is whole parallel to the surface being machined. There are several types of peripheral milling operations such as slab milling. In figure A, it is slab milling. In figure B, it is called slotting. In figure C, side milling. In figure D, straddle milling. And in figure E, it is form milling. Slab milling, the basic form of the peripheral milling in which the cutter width extends beyond the workpiece of both sides. So in the slab milling, the workpiece is in the smaller width as compared to the width of the milling cutter. So that is slab milling. slotting, also called slot milling, in which the width of the cutter is less than the workpiece width, creating a slot in the workpiece. So upon cutting, it will create certain length of slot because the cutting tool is smaller as compared to the width of the workpiece. In side milling, the cutter machines at the side of the workpiece. Okay, so it is similar to the shape of slot milling just now. However, in side milling, the cutting operations happen at the one side of the workpiece. In straddle milling, it is the same as in the side milling. However, now the cutting takes place at both sides of the workpiece. So that is called straddle milling. In form milling, the milling teeth have a special profile that determines the shape of the slot that is cut in the workpiece. The form milling is therefore classified as a forming operations. Okay, so in form milling, the cutting tool has specific profile. Okay, so not only the one that shown in the figure, it can be various types of profiles. Okay, upon cutting, it will create the cavity or new shape which takes the shape of the form milling cutter. In peripheral milling, the direction of cutter rotation distinguish two forms of milling, which is up milling and down milling. So what is this? Is when the cutting tool is rotating, it can rotate it rotates in one direction. However, the direction of feet from the workpiece can determine the types of cutting operations. Okay, for example, in figure A, this is called up milling. Okay, as you can see, the cutter rotate clockwise, and the feet direction is actually rotating at the opposite direction from the cutter rotation. Opposite direction. So when it cuts, okay, the cutting tool will start from a thinner volume of workpiece cut to a thicker volume of workpiece. However, in figure B, which is showing down milling, the cutter rotation rotates at the clockwise direction, and the feet direction from the workpiece is moving in the same direction of the cutter rotation. So now you can see from the figure, the cutting actually happens starting from a thicker piece of workpiece up to a thinner piece of workpiece. Okay, so although after the cutting operation you get chip, okay, similar chip, however, it was cut from different starting point. One from a thinner piece, the other one is at the thicker piece. If you look at the figure as well, the resulting chip is also different from the up milling operations and down milling operations. So remember, the piece of material which being removed from the workpiece, it is called chip. So in up milling, also called conventional milling, the direction of motion of the cutter teeth is opposite from the feet direction. So easy to remember. Up milling, opposite direction. When the teeth cut into the workpiece, it is milling against the feet. So the process is against the feet. Feet direction in the opposite direction from the cutter rotation. In down milling, it is also called climb milling. The direction of the cutter motion is in the same direction from the feet. So when the teeth cut the workpiece, it is milling with the feet. So it is cutting in the same direction with the feeding direction of the workpiece material. Up milling. Okay, what is the difference between up milling and down milling? These are the differences. The width of the chip starts from 0 and increases as the cutter finishes. So it starts from a thinner piece and then to a bigger or thicker chip. The Tooth meets the workpiece at the bottom of the cut. Upward forces are created that tend to lift the workpiece during face milling. So as you can see from the figure, when the workpiece is cutting from a thinner part to a thicker part, it tends to lift the workpiece during the face milling because the forces are acting upward. More power is required to conventional mill than climb mill. So up milling require more power as compared to the down milling. Surface finish is worse because the chips are carried upward by teeth and drop in front of the cutter. There's a lot of chip recutting. Flood cooling. Okay, flood cooling means during the cutting operation you need a lot of coolant to be flush to the surface of the workpiece. Tools were faster than with climb milling. Conventional milling is preferred for rough surfaces. Okay, so conventional milling is okay for the rough cutting operations. Okay, on the other hand, the down milling, the width of the chip starts at maximum thickness and decreases to a thinner point. The tooth meets the workpiece at the top of the cut. So the tooth meets the workpiece at the top. Just now it is at the bottom of the cut. Now from the top. Chips are dropped behind the cutter. Less recutting. Less wear with tools lasting up to 50% longer. Improved surface finish because less recutting. Less power required as compared to up milling. Climb milling exerts down force. So it is because the cutter meets the workpiece from the top surface, it giving a down force in face milling, which makes the work holding and fixture is simpler because down force tends to hold or tends to force the workpiece on the work table. So the fixtures to hold the workpiece is less as compared. The fixtures force is simpler, or the fixtures design is simpler as compared from up milling. The down force may help also to reduce chatter. Chatter is vibration in thin floors because it helps to brace the workpiece. Okay, so due to the down force, simpler fixtures, and it helps reducing chatter in the work table. Reduce vibration. Climb milling reduce work hardening, and it cause chipping due to the hardened surface. Face milling. The axis of the cutter is perpendicular to the surface being milled. Okay, just now peripheral milling. Now the second types of milling operation, which is called face milling. Okay, recall back the peripheral milling whereby the cutting tool in the horizontal position. Now in the face milling, the axis of the cutter is perpendicular to the surface being milled, and the machining is performed by cutting edges on both the end and outside periphery of the cutter. Various forms of face milling exist as below. So in figure A, it is called conventional face milling. In figure B, partial face milling. In figure C, end milling. In figure D, profile milling. In figure E, it is called pocket milling. You are making slot in between of the workpiece, it is called pocket. And surface contouring. A conventional face milling is whenever the diameter of the cutter is greater than the workpiece width. So the cutter overhangs the work on both sides of the workpiece. So you can look at the picture. The workpiece has a smaller width as compared to the cutter. So the cutter actually overhangs, terlebih from the workpiece at the both sides of the workpiece. Partial face milling is when the cutter overhangs the workpiece at only one side. So the same cutter in conventional face milling, however, it is now cutting at only one side Thereby the overhangs of the workpiece happen only at the one side of the workpiece. End milling is when the cutter diameter is less than the workpiece width. So it can produce a slot. So a slot is cut into the workpiece. So when you cut one length from the end mill, from one end to the other end, you will actually create a slot. A profile milling, a form of end milling. So the cutting tooth is also in the form of end milling cutter, in which the outside periphery of the flat surface is cut. So it is cutting from the outside surface of the workpiece. Pocket milling is another form of end milling. So the same cutting tool, which is called end milling. However, now it is cutting not only slot but at a certain width. So it will create pockets, shallow pockets. It depends on the depth. Okay, normally it is cutting blind hole or shallow pockets, pockets with a certain thickness. Surface contouring, in which a ball nose cutter. So look again in the picture, note carefully in the picture. The cutting tool looks like an end milling cutter. However, now it has a ball nose. Okay, it is not flat. It has certain shape of with certain corner shape. Okay, which is called ball nose cutter. So this ball nose cutter is fed back and forth across the work along a curved linear path at close intervals to create a three-dimensional surface form. Okay, so it will create certain profile. Milling and milling machines for peripheral millings. Okay, now we go to the milling parameters. All the important parameters related to milling operations. So the cutting speed in peripheral milling is the surface speed of the cutter. Okay, so the surface speed of the cutter can be determined by multiplying pi to the d, which is the diameter of the cutter, times spindle speed of the cutter, which is moving at a revolution per minute. Okay, spindle speed. N is the unit is revolution per minute. D is the diameter of the cutter in the unit of millimeter. So V is the cutting speed. Okay, it is the cutting speed. So you can also look at the pictures for the others unknown values that related to milling operations, such as the length. Okay, the feed direction, which gives the value for cutting speed, which is V. The feed, F, feed in the unit of mm. The width of the cutting in the unit of W. Okay, what else in the picture? Okay, diameter of the cutter and whatnot. Okay, so D, small d is the depth of cut. Okay, the approximate underform chip thickness. So the chip thickness, okay, is in this equation. Okay, undeformed chip thickness TC equals to 2 times F is the feet, square root of small d, which is the depth of cut, divided by capital D, which is the diameter of the cutter. The feet per tooth is determined from feet, which is feet per tooth. F is in the unit of millimeter. It's actually in the we get this from the cutting speed V divided by N is the number of speed. N is the spindle speed in the unit of revolution per minute, and N is the number of tooth. Is the number of teeth from the milling cutter. The cutting time T is given by T is actually L, which is the length of the workpiece, times LC is the length of the cutter divided by V is the cutting speed. Okay. Therefore, this gives us the material removal rate, which is indicate the amount of material being removed at one time with the equation of length times the width of the cutting times depth of cut divided by T, which is the cutting time. Okay, also gives you this equation, which is W is the width of the cutting times the depth of cut times the cutting speed V. So this is the summary of peripheral milling parameters and formulas. So you can always refer to this table to look at the formulas and also what are the description for every unknown values in the schematic diagram related to peripheral milling parameters. Okay, now you can do some exercise to test your understanding related to the milling cutter. Okay, I give one example whereby you can try and do it yourself later. Although the solution is already given in the slide, you can always try to do it yourself to test whether you understand or not all the equation related to peripheral milling operations. A slab milling operation being carried out on a 300 mm long, 100 mm wide, annealed Maesty block at a feet of 0.25 mm per tooth, and depth of cut is 3 mm. The cutter diameter, outer diameter of the cutter is D, capital D, equals to 50 mm in diameter. Has 20 straight teeth. So number of teeth N is 20. Rotates at 100 revolution per minute, which is N is equals to 100 revolution per minute. That by definition is wider than the block to be machined. So the cutting tool is actually bigger because the workpiece is smaller. Okay, so the cutting tool is wider than the block to be machined. Calculate the material removal rate. Okay, so first identify all the information you have, then leads to the calculation of material removal rate, and identify what are the information that you do not have yet which can be calculated. Okay, so solution for the exercise. Okay, we must calculate the cutting speed. We already have the information from the feet, spindle speed and number of teeth. So that gives you 500 mm per minute. So the material removal rate, go back to the equation. So you get the answer of 150,000 millimeter cube per minute. So the unit is in millimeter cube per minute. So what is the equation gives you here is the length of the workpiece times depth of cut 3 mm and times the cutting speed, which is V. In face milling, okay, just now peripheral milling, now for face milling. Okay, assume that D, the outer diameter is 150 mm, the width of the cutting is 60 mm, length of the workpiece given 500 mm, D, which is the depth of cut, is 3 mm, and V is the cutting speed is 0.6 meter per minute, and N is revolution per minute, which is the spindle speed, 100 revolution per minute. The cutter has 10 inserts, so meaning the N, number of teeth, is 10, and the workpiece material is high strength aluminium alloys. Calculate the material removal rate. So how to calculate that? The solution is given. However, you can always practice yourself to actually calculate the material removal rate. Material removal rate is we get this from the width of the cutting times the depth of cut and times the feet rate. Okay, so thereby we get 108,000 millimeter cube per minute. Since there are two different types of milling operations, okay, the cutting tool is actually in different direction or different way of putting it on the machine, okay, due to the different types of cutting tool. Therefore, there are two different types of milling machines. One is called horizontal milling machines. Basically, this is for peripheral milling operations. Okay, it has a horizontal spindle. So the spindle is rotating in the horizontal position, and this design is well suited for performing peripheral milling. Okay, and all the different types of milling falls under the peripheral milling operations. Okay, so they are roughly cube shapes. Okay, so it is to cut a prismatic shape. So in milling, normally it is prismatic shape despite peripheral or the vertical, okay, or the face milling operations. Okay, in face milling operation, it has vertical spindle. So it is more suitable for face milling and all other milling operations that falls under the face milling operations. Okay, so it can make contouring, end milling process, slotting with end milling, pocket milling with end milling cutter, and whatnot. So that's end on the milling operations, okay, milling process. So there are two types of milling process, which are peripheral milling and face milling. Okay, for peripheral millings, normally it is in the horizontal position. Both are cutting tool are rotating. However, in peripheral milling, it is more suitable with the horizontal milling machines. And for the face milling, it is conducted in the vertical milling machines because the cutter is rotating in the vertical positions. And all the milling parameters, important milling parameters related to the milling operation such as the spindle speed, the cutting speed, feed, the length of cut, the width of cut, depth of cut, outside diameter of the cutter and whatnot. Okay, hope you already understand that chapter. You can always go back to ULearn and to do more exercises related to milling operations. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.